Welcome to a series called The End of Times, where we're going through the book of Revelation, verse by verse, to see what it is we can expect to happen and what it is we should be doing in the end times. And as we've gone through this book, we've reached the place where Jesus is returning. The entire book, Revelation, this is the revelation of Jesus Christ. As a matter of fact, the entire Bible was written about the coming of his kingdom on earth as it is heaven. So it's really this glorious, triumphant return, this moment in time that really wraps up everything that God has been doing in the life of humanity. But there's a lot taking place as he returns, so we don't want to just jump through it and say he returns. We want to look at every little detail because God laid it out perfectly. So we're just going to pick it up where we left off, Revelation 19, starting verse 11. Then I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse, and he who sat on him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he judges and makes war. His eyes were like a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. He had a name written that no one knew except himself. We're going to pause right there. We're going to kind of look at the aspects of Jesus as he returns. So it says here that he has flames of fire and that on his heads were many crowns. He had a name written that no one knew except himself. We're going to take a look at those crowns today because he had on his head many crowns. The Bible actually speaks of 5 crowns that we can receive. And it's safe to assume that Jesus qualifies for all of those crowns. So we're going to look at the 5 crowns, where we can see them, how do we get them? What is it about Jesus that he has all these 5 crowns? So we're going to look at the first one, the crown of rejoicing. We're going to go to 1 Thessalonians 2, starting verse 17. But we, brethren, having been taken away from you for a short time in presence, not in heart, endeavored more eagerly to see your face with great desire. Therefore we wanted to come to you, even I, Paul, time and again. But Satan hindered us. For what is our hope or joy or crown of rejoicing? Is it not even you in this presence of our Lord Jesus Christ at his coming? For you are our glory and joy. So there's this crown of rejoicing. It's seen in Jesus, the glory and joy of our Lord. And there's many of us that see that joy and that rejoicing in him. And when you find joy in him, there's a crown of rejoicing that we receive. It's a very significant crown because finding joy in him is really one of the first steps to finding a relationship with him. So we'll take a look at the second one. The second one is the imperishable crown. It's the crown of endurance. We're going to see that in 1 Corinthians 9:24. Do you not know that those who run in a race all run? But one receives the prize. Run in such a way that you may obtain it. And everyone who competes for the prize is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a perishable crown, but we for an imperishable crown. Therefore I run thus, not with uncertainty, thus I fight, not as one who beats the air. But I discipline my body and bring it into subjection, lest when I have preached to others, I myself should be disqualified. So this imperishable crown, this crown of endurance, is to fight, to keep fighting, this fight, this race of endurance that is what is necessary to be a Christian. This race of endurance requires that you don't stop. You just keep going and keep going and keep going until the moment of his return. And if you do that, you receive that imperishable crown. Now the third crown is the crown of righteousness. It's a very significant crown. We can see this in 2 Timothy 4, starting in 6. For I'm already being poured out as a drink offering, and the time of my departure is at hand. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Finally, there is laid upon me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will give to me on that day, and not to me only, but also to all who have loved his appearing. And I remind you, he's coming to judge and make war. So these crowns will be a major part of that judgment. This crown of righteousness. It's seeing the glory and abounding and loving in his appearing. It's being about your Father's business is what the crown of righteousness is all about. It's being obedient and respectful of the law and being about your Father's business. Then there's a fourth crown. The fourth crown is the crown of glory. We can see that in 1 Peter 5, starting verse 2. Shepherd the flock of God which is among you, serving as overseers, not by constraint, but willingly, not for dishonest gain, but eagerly, nor as being lords over those entrusted to you, but being example to the flock. And when the chief shepherd appears, you will receive the crown of glory that does not fade away. This is shepherding the flock. This is, again, about being about your Father's business. It's taking it very seriously. It's teaching those about his ways and his will in their life. It's showing them the path towards righteousness through Jesus Christ. And when you shepherd the flock, the shepherd, when he returns, will give you a crown of glory. And finally, the last crown is the crown of life, and we can see that in Revelation 2, starting verse 8. And to the angel of the church in Smyrna write, these things says the first and last who was dead and came to life. I know your works, tribulation and poverty, but you are rich. And I know the blasphemy of those who say they are Jews and are not, but are a synagogue of Satan. Do not fear any of those things which you are about to suffer. Indeed, the devil is about to throw some of you into prison, that you may be tested, and you will have tribulation 10 days. Be faithful until death, and I will give you the crown of life. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. He who overcomes shall not be hurt by the second death. This crown of life is the reason that we will endure the tribulation. When you fight for 3.5 years through tribulation, many of us will die. And many of us will be taken and thrown into prisons. But that's nothing compared to receiving that crown of life. It's just nothing. And I want you to notice that all these crowns, they say, when he returns, you will receive this crown. At his judgment, you will receive this crown. When he comes back, you will receive this crown. So it's no wonder that when he shows up, he's wearing many crowns. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he who sat on him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he judges and makes war. His eyes were like a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. He had a name written that no one knew except himself. It's amazing to see. It's important that we just don't say he had some crowns. These crowns are very significant. And these are also crowns we can receive. And again, like I said in the beginning, it makes sense that he, of course, has all of them. Because he's perfect in every way. Everything that he wants of us, to be rejoicing, to be imperishable, to receive things that don't, to go race the race, to receive things that don't rot in this earth. To receive the crown of righteousness, to be about our Father's business, the crown of glory, to be shepherding people, to know the way. And then finally, the crown of life. That's the best one of all. It's important we take some time and truly understand what it is these crowns are about, because this is something that you will be receiving at that judgment. So I hope this video helps. If you have any thoughts or insight on these, definitely put them below. If you like this video, click like and subscribe. If you feel called to support this channel on the Patreon, that link is below. But the most important part of this channel is we take prayer requests, so please don't ever hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, and love guns.